This is the post-match reaction for the Cavalier versus Arnett Gardens game. One place and out we already. Cavalier won the game 1-0, and technically it was a good matchup. Tired legs at the end of the game, people drop on the floor with the Arnett players, a little bit of tears shedding, but that is football. Cavalier now on to the final. Uh, repeat of the final last 2 years. Repeat. Mount Pleasant versus Cavalier. We have Kavi Meeks, we have Jampl, we have Knockins, and we have Shav here with us today. And we're going to get everybody. He's a fanboy, so we're going to ask him less questions.
We'll ask him the first question.
We're going to ask him the first question. First of all, as a fanboy of Cavalier, what are you feeling?
Well, I'm elated that we're heading back to another final again. Know that Mount Pleasant will be going out for reasons this year. So I'm just really looking forward to see if the boys can go back out and show them that we're actually looking to do.
All right. About the year. So, Mr. Kemar, now is a man have a good insight of the game. Can you tell us what you think about the game?
Well, the game was a high impact game. Nothing much, never really in the game like to say discuss wise. It was a game for itself, it speaks a lot. Congratulations to Cavaliers as well. And winning the game, advancing to the finals. Um, Pretty much that's it. Really much to say about the game.
Champion?
Yeah, you come to these one-off, well, not a one-off game, but one of these important type games, you need special players to make special moments. We saw Busy from Portmore games, the first leg against Arnett, and then here again today. But we have to give credit as well to King, who I thought was spectacular. Watson did his job in the middle of the park. So it clear they play like champions, and it showed today. But I also want to touch on Arnett. I felt they went away from their usual style of play. It seemed that they try much Cavalier with the direct ball, especially in the first half. They got some results, because they got the opening, they got some good openings, and just never take them chances. But that's all football, you have to take your chances. But I kind of find it weird that they went away from their style and they kind of brought it back in the second half. But the right team won tonight. It wasn't luck, it wasn't no lucky bunks or nothing. It was clear that Cavalier were the better team. Give him fast, I like to go. Give me so
Mix?
yeah.
Well, in my opinion, I thought that it was a good game, end to end stuff. I think both teams played the way they normally play. I think personally for me, I think Arnett Garden should have made a special plan for the number 10, that is Anderson. I think Atkinson, sorry. I thought that they allowed him and gave him the space, and he created the damage. And in a critical game like this, you have to put away some of your preferred style and just ensure that you get the result. And the result was for Arnett would have allowed somebody to stay close. That as soon as you get the ball, is either you stop the play or you win the ball. They didn't do that. He got away not once. I think it's from memory 2 to 3 times, and he finally created the goal, and they're back in the finals. Congratulations to Cavaliers.
Yeah. I think so. This is a good analysis of the game. Overall, I thought that King I thought Arnett went wrong with the exclusion of James Thomas. And
Okay,
that could be one of the reasons, that could be one of the big issues I would say, the move away from their normal playing style. The absence of James Thomas, so they didn't get to control the middle of the park per se. Because normally Arnett Gardens are more of a ball possession, high tempo ball possession type of team.
Can I say something? I think based on my interpretation, in the first half, they tend to go long because the back line tend to sit. They were very conscious of the direct ball from Cavaliers. But in the second half, they changed, and I thought that is where the issues came in.
Mhm.
The right back went too high, and the ball came back directly, and the player is just too fast for you to do that.
It was a set piece to be fair to them. It was
The
a
transition one,
the,
when they catch
the,
it.
the one that they scored was off a set piece. So Shepard, well, I guess it was a bit too high, but they were looking for to keep them locked in from the set piece.
No, if you're going to keep a player locked in, you have to look for the outlet, the main outlet. That is the focus. You better you leave somebody else who you know, because from the last
Hey, we have
3 games,
royalty coming in.
from the last three
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
Cavaliers
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on Busy.
Mhm.
And Busy at the outlet. So you have to have a plan for Busy.
Mhm.
If you miss,
You get hit.
you're in trouble.
So we have the big man here, Mr. Owen Hill.
Right, time it is.
We got a couple games in now.
Yeah,
one big
4.
game left.
Yeah.
One big game left. But can you just take us what do you think about the game so far?
The games. They have been well, I believe. I mean, very tactical from the coaches. Still, the two more astute coaches are at the top.
Yeah.
You know, form is true, if you want to call it that. Um, I was expecting a more, exciting game, Arnett versus Cavalier, but again, yeah, based on the style of play from both teams. One playing a low block, try to catch on the counter. The other one play slightly free flowing, and I just feel like that was a missed opportunity for Arnie. But when they have the Caribbean champions playing against, and when you have a coach like Speedy, that will always have
Yeah.
one of the better coaching minds in the Caribbean. So definitely the team that deserved to go through went through.
Mhm.
And then the game before, I would say, it could have gone either way. I think those are two very, very good teams. Mount Pleasant not, prevailed in the end. So far the games have been good, I must say. And I think we're now warming up and
Mhm.
we're getting to what we want, which is fun.
We reached that period of football right now, especially in Jamaica where it's not so fast and aggressive like one time we prevail. Back in the days, fast, hard, and aggressive teams that prevail.
Yeah.
It's now the more tactical teams that
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah.
So technically, the more tactical games tend to be less exciting.
Yeah,
The
for
most
sure.
one of the most exciting teams coming at the playoffs was actually Tivoli.
Right.
And they are basically one of the first team to leave.
Yeah,
But the thing is entertainment.
yeah.
But football kind of move away from that flair aspect, entertainment
I wouldn't
factor,
say
to
kinda.
being
It has
efficient.
moved away.
It's all efficient now, straight into the aspect of
Yeah.
structured and efficiency.
By the
Because
way,
that's
let
what
me
get the
use
result.
the opportunity to plug the coaching school because that really has significantly helped the teams. If you notice, you talk about the tactical awareness of the coaches and the teams because the coaches are getting better.
Yeah, and a good example of that
You know what I
would have
mean?
been the Portmore versus Cavalier game
Correct.
of excellent tactical display
Yeah.
between two teams.
So you find that, and then the international style of football is rubbing off. People want to possess the ball. People want to stay patient. People want to apply a strategy, and that's what you're seeing. It's not just heavy metal football that is just run and kick it and bustle and no.
Moving the ball on a pick a
If you
moment.
don't have a clear opportunity, you're going to kind of keep
Recycle.
possession and make sure that you overload one side and catch it on the other side. So you see a lot of that. I think the magnitude of the event also sometimes get to the players. So a couple of the simple things that the players could have done, I don't know.
Nerves.
Yeah, the magnitude of the event.
Me as a media person, son.
Yeah,
The way the place are vibrant, man. Can you imagine hey, worst thing that can you imagine the first ball you get
Yeah,
a
man.
miscontrol?
Yeah,
What?
man.
I don't crowd for you.
Yeah, man.
Me pack up my things with the coach.
But like I said, I'm excited. Why? Because this is the best league in the Caribbean. And I say that without hesitation. We need to now start rivaling, the Mexicos and the US. I dare say those are the benchmarks. Right? At least Central America tackles Costa Rica. Definitely, definitely. So I think you're seeing that in the teams that are in the top four. Ultimately, any one of these teams could very well move on, and then you speak of Portmore, then you have Tivoli, then there was Waterhouse, so you have a race in. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward because the teams in the league, at least about 8, 9 of them, have what it takes that could very well represent us at the next level. Now there are tiers to it, obviously.
Yes, so.
And again, everybody kind of know how you kind of position, but the truth is we need the competitiveness across the different teams for the league to actually be better. And so far, I think we're seeing it.
I got to add one thing to it. So about a few years ago, the technical committee of the JFF, the Institute, assisting to recall Jamaica Championship, known as the Tier 2.
Right.
Now, the tier 2 comprised of all 14 teams across the parish, winners of their
Right.
respective major leagues. And then all those 14 teams play off for 2 spots.
Correct.
Which means that those 2 teams who go to the final are the best of the best.
Right.
I would have seen where Troubletown Maroon and Racing came into the league.
Right.
Yeah, Troubletown Maroon did not really matriculate into what we expect, but they still sustain themselves in the league.
Yeah.
But Racing, on the other hand,
None of the 2
Punch.
teams are relegated.
Exactly, Racing Punch extremely heavy.
Yeah.
Even at one point, some of the senior teams were saying, "Why we don't really want to see the
Yeah,
senior
man,
team."
we're
Because
afraid. We're afraid.
they have nothing to lose and they're playing so good. Even reach a point in which the team of the season, players from that team
Yeah,
have been
man.
selected for.
Yes,
And
Definitely.
these players are the first year playing in the Premier League, which means that something is going right, even at the grassroots level where
No, for
football
sure.
is concerned.
No, for sure.
It's a good look.
Like I said, the coaching, I mean, big up Mr. Parchment as a coach. You know.
60 minutes I get to know.
But again, welcome.
To start somewhere.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah,
It's not under 10 and
Yeah, Mr. Speed just said him get relegated, he couldn't coach. So,
but that's,
him be honest with that.
I'm just saying that everybody in the ecosystem, coach, administrator, player, everybody sees the improvement. You are now forced to step your game up, because if you don't, then you're going to be on the out. You're going to be looking on. And the teams that are always there are the ones that are properly managed, well prepared, structurally organized. They are the ones that are always there. So it's not even about, okay, because remember now you have 39 games plus a next possible 5 if you're going to go all the way.
No, well, remember now that even in Arnett Gardens,
That's what I'm saying. So that's 2
yeah.
for them, possibly 3.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is, you don't have to do your entire planning around at least 40 games if you really want to be in the mix. And you cannot expect to just pop up and deliver on the day. Gone are those days, especially when it's 2 legs.
All right, so let me ask you a question. maybe we're not sure. Maybe you can relate. I hope, or you can give us a good answer. When will you see where, because these clubs are investing quite a lot of financing throughout the season?
Yeah.
When are we going to see like those clubs getting compensation in respect to the money that they're spending to remain in the season? So when we can expect it, or even make that step going forward where that is concerned?
All right. So the truth is that's a function of strategy. And let me be very simple in the analogy for you to understand. How the PFGL is currently structured, clubs receive some kind of subvention every month from the organization. And those monies come directly from sponsorship. Now, there are different ways to get revenues, and we are trying to build out that. So, again, it's easy for us to say, so what to television rights? And I say, well, we need to have a television, much less
You're right.
to have rights.
Yeah.
We need to have a property to also have rights. And we need to have somebody who wants to purchase it for there to be rights. And then you get revenue. So
It
what
must
I'm
have a value. It must be valuable.
and I'm saying it is valuable
Yeah,
now.
right at this present
It
moment,
is valuable.
the Jamaica
So we
Premier
are
League is most valued because, think about it, we just saw Messi came into Jamaica.
right.
The Jamaica Premier League. There's so much leagues across the world did not get that opportunity of bringing a superstar, one of the best to ever play the game, and so much eyes is now on the league.
Correct.
So it is at the most value right now. Can you give us a strategy?
We're
on how we
doing
can
we're doing a
capitalize
Netflix
on it?
series in a Mount Pleasant is doing a Netflix series.
Oh, yeah.
More than
Breaking
ourselves.
it.
You better be careful. One place that have to be careful. Not
No.
about Netflix and after Netflix, you know, for the second night season.
No, man.
Ah.
But the point I'm making,
Yeah.
dude, you ask a question and I don't think I really answered the question the way that probably your viewers, listeners, whoever it is want to hear. We can give you all the money at the end of the season, or we can give you in
Month.
blocks. And we can give only a few teams the money, or we can spread it across all the teams to make sure that at least you're sustained throughout the 9 months. That's a matter of strategy, that's a matter of policy. Those are decisions that you have to make that at a different level. The model has always been, let us build broadly, let us help everybody, rather than, because we could easily say 50 million at the end of it, the winner get 50 million. We've spent way more than 50 million all season long. And I'm just using that as a baseline figure. I don't even want to tell you how much money the PFGL would have contributed so far to referees, to admin, to everything that you see that make the league work. Venue rental, all of these things. So of course the clubs are investing and we are appreciative, and football is big business. It requires heavy investment. We want to get to the point where the different revenue streams are driving the overall pot.
Or sustainability per club.
Because again, clubs now need to do some things to make sure that their club becomes valuable and sustainable. So the league is at a certain level. But a club, what is the value proposition here? To have investors in your club, not the league, in your club. And how is it that you're structuring? So the point I'm making is, we definitely want to give everybody a nice payday. Comes down to the strategy, and it's always going to be reviewed, because I'm sure same guys who are out here playing are the ones who will be advocating exchange, the format, structure, all of that. Next season, you definitely would possibly see something. Yeah, man.
Good information.
Yeah, man.
Only by
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So-
Big up on yourself.
so
Big up
people-
on yourself.
Big up on yourself. Still have a small part of review to complete. Time ago now. Oh, earlier was, man. That was 10:30. Yeah. Earlier was. Yeah. Come in.
One Cavaliers.
Oh, okay. Last one.
Big up on yourself, people.